Hey, Dr. Bryce Lee back with another frequently asked question. This one is once a week training pointless? Last time in our video, we talked about how twice per week training really is the sweet spot for most people, allowing us to balance our schedule, balance our recovery ability as we age, and optimize our response to exercise in terms of building strength and muscle mass. What that might lead somebody to think then is, well, if I can't train twice per week, maybe only once per week is pointless. And I want to dispel that idea right away. In this graph, which I'm going to share with you in this video, what we're going to see is that people who train twice per week obviously hit a much higher peak and slow their rate of muscle loss significantly. But people who train once per week still see a dramatic improvement over people who don't train. What we see in research about age-related muscle loss and decline of muscle and strength as we age is that from age 30 to age 60, we're losing 5 to 7% of our strength every decade and even more muscle mass than that. And starting in age 60, that rate accelerates to 12, 15, 25% even by age 70 and 80 every decade of strength and muscle loss lost. So when we are able to mitigate that with strength training, that has a profound impact on our functional ability. And as you can see in the graph, we have this thing called the functional disability line. And what that does is it indicates where the threshold of strength is that we need to be able to maintain in order to live alone, in order to be able to perform activities of daily living, grooming, bathing, getting up and down off of the bed, up and down stairs, in and out of a vehicle. When we don't have the strength to do those things, we no longer are really able to take care of ourselves. We start to become a burden on our loved ones. And so, of course, more than looking good or having better energy levels right now, preventing that functional decline is the biggest benefit that strength training offers us and one of the main motivations we have to perform it. So what we can see again in this graph is that even though the people who train once per week don't hit quite as high of a peak, and even though they decline a little faster than people who train twice per week, invariably they're going to maintain a great deal of their strength compared to an untrained person. And it's very possible for them to actually remain above that functional disability line for even decades longer than the person who doesn't train, maybe even throughout their entire life, they could maintain good functional ability. So please don't take the idea that perfect is the enemy of good enough, right? Just because twice per week has advantages over once per week does not mean once per week is pointless. Once per week is dramatically better than not training at all. And twice per week is a meaningful jump, again, above once per week, but not so much that it's double, and not so much that we should discount the benefits of once per week training. If you're able to train with good supervision, which allows you to achieve a high level of effort and a high degree of safety at the same time, once per week is going to mitigate some of your age-related muscle loss and preserve a lot of function. If you can train twice per week, I encourage you to do that because that is going to give you a superior benefit and allow you to preserve even more function, strength, and muscle. But once per week is very good. And I hope that answers that question, dispels that notion that there's no point to it. So thanks very much for your attention, and I appreciate your time.